Hey, everybody. On this episode of SAMP&CHANCE Wrestling, we're going to take a look at the road as it continues to build towards WrestleMania. Next stop, Elimination Chamber. Raw was all about that, building up that show in Perth. Also, a look at AEW Dynamite. What was the big announcement that Tony Khan made, and what implications does that have? All this and so much more. Plus, Sami Zayn. Is he going to go heel soon? On this episode of SAMP&CHANCE Wrestling. Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp&Chance Wrestling. I am your host, Bobby Sampson, joined as always, my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance Michaels. Michaels, how are you, brother?
I'm feeling good. How about yourself?
Man, I feel great. I mean, contrary to popular belief, I'm doing all right. Everything is beautiful, beautiful sunny day here today on
Yeah,
a
it's awesome.
Tuesday. Can't go wrong with that. I think spring might just be a little earlier than we expect.
I sure
Um,
hope so.
Yeah, man. But I mean, if any indication, but you know what? I will always say this. I will take cold and sunny over cold and gray,
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah.
right? I can handle the cold. We can layer up, right? So I mean, from that perspective, it's all good. Rolling Stones, those boys are coming here soon. Looking forward to that.
Oh yeah,
And
they're gonna
before,
rock, blow the place, blow the roof off BC Place. I'll tell you that.
oh, it's gonna be amazing, man.
Oh
And to
yeah.
be honest, man, I was thinking about it. Like I didn't see too much of the halftime show. I didn't hear, too much about it. I don't know, man. What do you think?
I mean, it, it was okay, I guess, if you're into like that
But
kind
there
of stuff.
is. That's the thing.
It
There's a
is because
lot
they're
of
trying to
people.
appeal to the younger crowd, I guess. Even
But
though Usher
there,
was in his mid 40s, but I
I,
mean,
I bet
a
you
lot of
something.
dancing. He was roller skating around. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
I think the people 25 and under really liked it, but for me, no, I didn't care for it.
Before we get into the show, I got to say this. I found this Super Bowl in particular to be very, very heavily generated and geared towards women. A lot are saying that's the Taylor Swift effect.
It is. This is the most watched event in North America ever. 123 million people watched it. It's all the Swifties.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I kind of looked, I did dig deep on her a little bit because obviously she's not the music I listen to. I don't really
Yeah.
follow her profile or what she's up to. I gotta say, man, of the choices out there for little girls to look up to, she's not bad choice, man.
No.
Her music is very clean. Her stage presence is very clean. She's not very she doesn't sexualize things. Yeah, she's
No.
like a mid-30s woman crying about teenage angst, but it's not my
Yeah,
genre.
she's a
So,
good role model. Yeah.
I got to give her respect
A
for
lot
that,
better
man.
role model than her boyfriend is, I'll tell you that. Bumping the coach like that almost knocked the old man over. If they would have lost that Super Bowl, we'd be saying Travis is out of control. Taylor Swift hasn't going crazy because they won. We won't hear that. He almost knocked the old man over.
Yeah, man.
Very classless.
He took it a little too seriously there. But you know what though, man? I mean, those Chiefs were beating themselves. I'll say that. Yeah, they came out with the victory. But for most of that game, I think they were just beating themselves. And with all due respect to San Francisco, I mean, that Kansas City defense was something else, man.
Yep. Yeah, it was a good.
Right?
The first half was kind of boring, but after that, yeah, it was
Yeah, it really picked up. It
epic
really
finish.
picked up. All right. That's enough of that. Let's move on to what we know. And what we know is on Thursday, we had the press conference, the slap heard around the world, full heel rock. Cody made his choice. Your takes on that um press conference, if you have any.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I don't know why they don't do it for a TV show. Do it on a Raw. Do it on a SmackDown. Show an hour of that. Why do that separate? So many people missed it. Yeah, you can watch it on YouTube, but it wasn't on regular TV. So I think a lot of people missed it. I know they're showing the clips during Raw and SmackDown and all that stuff, but to me, it should have been on TV so you could actually everybody could see and know what's going on. Because my kid didn't even know about it. I thought there's some good points. I thought there was some bad stuff too. Seth Rollins was ignoring The Rock, and Rock bumped him, whatever he did there, and Seth is just totally ignoring him. So I thought that was, I didn't make sense to me. I'm not sure why Seth would do that. It was good. It wasn't bad. I got their point across.
It
Um,
works out well. Like I don't think
wasn't
Rock
bad.
will actually be in the ring now. I almost get the sense we're gonna get like a Mike Tyson type of deal here where he's gonna go full heel.
If he does a Mike Tyson ref role, it's a waste because he's so big, he's so strong, he's talking all this crap that he's just going to referee. That I think that's a waste.
Well, no. Meaning wise, like I don't think he'll actually be a referee. He'll just be ringside for the match. I don't think he's actually going to have a match. I mean, the way they're kind of scripting it right now, it just unless
I
something
think he's gonna have a match. Yeah, I think he's gonna have a match.
right, unless something dramatic changes, I almost see him being more just as a presence outside
If
the
that's
ring.
the case, then that's a waste of him because they've been talking about this for 2 years. Roman, Rock and WrestleMania. He's just gonna stand outside the ring. Well,
Well,
that's just a waste, in my opinion.
let's see how they build this up, right? But that's the way
I assume Rock will be in some sort of match, whether it's a tag match, a triple threat match. I don't know. Like I said, the IWC is controlling what they're going to do. So the more they cry and yell and scream, that'll dictate where this goes. But if he stands outside the ring in the corner, then I think it's just a big letdown. With all the hype that it has, he's got to get in the match.
well, I'm sure we'll see what they do, right? I mean,
Yeah.
they're planning it out. They got a lot of time here, so from Thursday to Monday, a lot changed. You know what I mean? It's just in terms of the direction, the feeling of it. From where we were before that, even a lot of that's changed. So I mean, that's the beauty of pro wrestling, man. On a dime, it can flip, and you'll forget about what happened yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah, press conference was fun. I really enjoyed it. I did take a little notice of certain things. So when Bianca was out there, they were up to like, I don't know, 91,000 people watching or something. Or she's sorry, when she came out, it was 96. When she was near the end of her promo, it dropped to like 91. But when Rhea came out and Becky came out, that thing hopped all the way back up close to like 98,000 people. Comparatively to when Cody, The Rock, and all those guys are out there was over 113,000 people watching that segment.
Thanks for bringing that up. They had a hard. They couldn't even sell at the T-Mobile Arena for that, eh? So
Well,
I know the IWC is pumping this up. There's only maybe what they say, like 3,800 people in there. That's
no.
a
Everyone was free.
15,000
It was
arena.
all free tickets.
Yeah, but they couldn't. That's what I'm saying. They couldn't get 15,000, and they got 4,000 people. I get it, Super Bowl week. Most people there for the Super Bowl, but it didn't draw. I thought they'd sell the place out. This is not
You
even
would
half
think
full.
so too. You would think so too. But like you said, with Super Bowl during the day, this and that, and you
And
had
this is my point. Cody Rhodes is not a big draw, only amongst that certain demographic of fans, younger fans, IWC. The casual guys don't give a crap about Cody Rhodes crying
I
in
get
the
it,
ring all
man.
the
But
time.
here at the end of the day, most of those guys that are moaning and groaning for Cody are the guys that are paying all the bills, anyways, right? It's the casual fans not really bringing anything to the table
No, but
except
if you have The
once a year.
Rock and you're in Vegas, this is a WrestleMania press conference, and you can't even get 4,000 people. That's not a good sign. I know WrestleMania's already sold out, sells itself, but there was not a lot of buzz for it in Vegas at all. So
Well,
that's a bad sign.
fair enough, man. But I mean, like I said, I mean, unfortunately, we couldn't be there. But 4,002. But it was a fun little
Wasn't
thing.
bad. Wasn't
I
bad. Yep.
enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. All right, so let's get on to Monday Night Raw here really quick. The night starts off with the Usos, no opening promos, nothing. We got that later on in the show. The show starts off with the Usos, with Jey Uso and the New Day going up against Imperium. Solid match, man. I mean, right now they're
Yep.
making Jay look really, really good. Like he looks like a guy who could actually dethrone him. Here's the only problem with it. They're having their match on next week on Monday. I thought this was gonna be at the Elimination Chamber. I thought that's where it should have been. Unless something happens in that match and then they make it where the rematch will be at the Elimination Chamber, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't see Jay being the guy at this moment to dethrone him. You?
Absolutely not, and I sure hope not. He's okay as a tag team partner, but on himself, by himself, I don't think he's Intercontinental Champion material. Personally, I know he's popular with the fans, but he just I don't know. He needs that partner. Some guys are better in tags, and he's better with a tag partner. Jay and
Well,
Jimmy are good. They have good chemistry on his own. I think he's a little bit lost out there at times. It seems to me.
well, believe it or
And
not,
Gunther's the man right now. He's so young, he's so big, he's so strong that he's
yeah.
gonna, I think, retain the title for a while.
Well, let's see what he does, man. Like I said, I mean, he's over 600 days now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with him, and if it's not Jay, then who? Right? Like, I mean, you're running out of options of guys that actually can compete with him. So it's kind of like, what are they gonna do? I guess we'll find out in due time. All right, Elimination Chamber qualifying match: Bobby Lashley against Bronson Reed. I really enjoyed this match, man.
Yeah, that was good.
Bronson is just a big powerhouse of a man. The way he manhandled him, I mean, Bobby's a big guy too, 6'3", 270, but he looks small in front of Bronson Reed.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Bronson back out there. He's been out for a little bit for a while, and it's good for him to go against a veteran, work the strong style, and yeah, it was a good match. It had good chemistry. Good when the big boys come out, seeing all the little guys all the time.
Well, personally, what I really appreciated was that move that Bobby did when he picked him up off the top rope. Now, to pull off moves like that, you're going to have your dad's partner to support you, right?
Oh,
But
sure.
still, even with the support, you have to have a level of strength to be able to pull a move off like that, man.
Bobby sure does.
Solid match. My only problem is, like, I have no problem with Bobby going over, but with the elimination in Perth, in Australia, in his hometown, I almost felt that that spot would have been suited better for the big man.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
All right. Well, that was easy. So we have an interview with Sami Zayn, and I mentioned this in the intro a little bit. Sami's on a bit of a losing skid, very different from where he was last year this time. But I'm hearing backstage, like from backstage rumors and whatnot, that they may be doing repackaging, and he might come back as a heel, man, because the last couple of weeks he's ended up in matches with guys that he's helped defend against. And he's kind of lost every single time. So I mean, he's three in a row. He's lost to Shinsuke, he lost to Drew, and then I think he lost to someone else before that as well. But it for sure guaranteed 2 to 3 match losing streak. I think what, maybe being Sammy heel is gonna probably be better for him going forward.
I think absolutely better for him. Look at the guy. He looks like he's your gardener or landscaper. He does not look like a professional wrestler. People say, oh, they can look however they want to look. If you put Sami Zayn in the crowd and take a picture of him, he'd blend right in. So he can play that heel card. He can say, I'm not in shape. I don't train. I'm he's the anti-hero because he doesn't take care of his body. He doesn't hone his craft. So he could be that angry. You guys won't give me the belt because I don't look like this guy. I don't look like, Roman or all your prototypical wrestlers. So he can be a great heel and kind of play that whiny, pest, which he is. And I think he'd be great at it. Hope he does. Yeah. He's very talented.
No, yeah, 100%. And he's good at that role too. The antagonist, he's like that pesky little guy that's always around.
He is, yeah.
Right. He did a great job of it when he was doing it. Cody Rhodes is out. What do you guys want to talk about? He talks about the press conference. He talks about the slap. He says, hey, I didn't say anything disparaging or wrong about your ancestors. All I said was they would be very upset with you guys the way you're acting. And then hits the music, and here's Seth Rollins. Seth is out. Seth says that basically, I'm paraphrasing here, but you know what? I really enjoyed this promo. I thought it was a lot of fun.
I did too, but I don't understand why they keep doing this. We've already went through Cody and Seth in the ring how many times. They did a little crybaby session. But why do they need to be back in the ring again if we already know it's Cody and Roman? Why do they need to keep doing this? It's just the
I think just to keep Seth in the picture somehow, right? I mean, just going forward, like I don't know what role Seth is going to play in any of this. Like he said, I will be your shield. Like he's going to support him. Seth came out. He basically said, look, here's the deal, man. Like, we've had our problems, blah, 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 but I want you to win. Everyone in the back wants you to win because that story rears its ugly head again. And that was one cool comment that I forgot to mention that I wanted to bring up from the press conference when Cody said to them, like, you guys, basically show up for work once or twice every year, sort of a deal. You haven't done anything for the last 2 years. I thought that was kind of funny.
That make millions of dollars in Hollywood and become a global icon while he was barely noticed in AEW.
But he was also talking about Roman too, though.
Yeah.
He was also referring to Roman.
But like I said, though, like they have a special quality about them that Cody and Seth don't have. So they'll never get that kind of spot because they're never going to be that kind of star. It's just the reality of it.
I won't disagree with you. And like I said to you before, man, it's guys like The Rock, Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, even to a certain extent. Brock Lesnar, even to, even Brock Lesnar, man. You get those guys on, your checks will have extra zeros. Everything. Like everything goes up when they're around. So, I think these younger guys need to understand.
A lot of it is jealousy because Cody Rhodes can't go to UFC and become a UFC champion. Seth can't go make millions of dollars in the movies. And they're just not able to do that. And these certain guys are. 99, and they get a little bit bitter about it.
99% of wrestlers can't, right? No. It's that 1% that can, right? So I mean, it's just not Seth, it's everybody. So yeah, but they go back and forth, and
I'm
he's
honestly like, I love Seth's work, but I'm getting a little bit tired of his fake laugh, crying all the time, the way he's dressing. Like he's kind of getting tired, and I think that it's time to get that belt off of him. If he's hurt, let him take a little bit of break. I love the guy; he's an amazing talent, but I think his act is wearing thin. Maybe take a few months off, heal yourself up, give the strap to somebody else, and restart here because
well, I mean,
there's
I
only so
think
many
that
times I can watch that guy cry on Monday Night Raw.
I think that might just happen here at WrestleMania. He is pretty banged up. He does need some time off, and this might be that time. Who knows,
Yeah,
right? I mean, that's what WrestleMania is all about. He's had a few WrestleMania moments. Now it's that's Seth Rollins is that stage of his career where he has to start giving back now to some of the younger guys. You know what I mean? Or some of the guys that haven't had the opportunity that have worked just as hard as he has. So,
yeah. There's
call
a
it
thing about wrestlers. They think every wrestling's the hardest worker, the best talent. Everybody works hard.
Call it
So
call it an early prediction. I think Drew goes on to win the Elimination Chamber, and I think Drew goes on to win the world title. Because I
yeah,
think Drew did say something. I haven't done anything wrong. Yeah, okay. I've attacked some guy. He's attacked some guys from the back. But if you think about it, the path to the world title, he's working just as hard as everyone else. Going qualifying, going to the chamber, winning the chamber, going to Mania. You know what I mean? So I
yeah.
mean, from that perspective, you can't go wrong. Um, but yeah, so basically the segment ends with him with Seth basically telling him, like, look, you had a hell of a wall or a deck stacked against you last WrestleMania with Solo, both Usos, and Paul Heyman. Now you got the Rock in that corner as well, right? So he goes, I'll be your shield. I don't know what that means. I don't know if Seth is going to be out there ringside on night one or on the main event or whatever the case may be. So we carry on to watch the show to find out how this plays out. Women's Elimination Chamber matches up next. We have Liv Morgan on the Revenge Tour going up against Zoe Starks. Pretty straightforward match.
Yeah.
Pretty hard hitting, man. I'll be honest. I'll take that. I'll say that much for them. Like, these girls weren't playing softly. They were playing pretty hard. It was pretty snug. Good showing by Liv coming back. I thought Zoe was going to win because she still has charges against her pending on drug charges. And Australia is really, really strict about those things. If you look into boxing, they would let Bill Haney into the country. So
Yeah,
I,
well,
but
every country has different rules on these guys that break the law, right? So
well, no, this is Australia, same place.
yeah, no, I don't feel bad for her. I mean, she knew what she was doing was wrong. She still did it. I mean,
No, no, no. Well, what I'm saying is she won, which means she's going to Australia. I thought
yeah,
Zoe would have won because I didn't think the government will let her in.
yeah.
Right. So it just shows like I don't understand how their law works. I guess maybe it was a misdemeanor. I don't know. Maybe that flies.
Well, Haney's was a violent offense. Hers is not violence.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So that match ends, and we have Liv Morgan in the Elimination Chamber. Um, Solid match. It was all right. No issue with it. R-Truth is trying to find out if the Miz can get here. Why? Because before that, we had R-Truth walking with the Judgment Day, going to the ring. It was R-Truth against JD McDonough. Yet the dude's still walking with the crew. They stop him and tell him basically for the last time, Damien didn't make it, complicated. Straight up, you're not a part of this crew, and we're going to execute you tonight. And that
Yeah,
led R-Truth calling the Miz, who wasn't in attendance. He's at home with Maurice, who's recovering from illness. She had some tumors in her stomach, apparently.
that's too bad.
Yeah, yeah. So he's at home with her, so he couldn't be there. So basically, they come out, and I'll say this, man, R-Truth, for what he does, that guy can still go.
Yeah, he moves, but he's slowing down a little bit. He is mid
He's
fifties, but
slowing
yeah, he
down, but
goes
that
good.
corkscrew move that he does, no one else does that.
Yeah, he's
And
good,
at
man.
his age, this dude's almost mid-50s or late 50s. And still
Yeah,
to pull that move off, man. That's
he's in
insane.
great shape. He's taking care of his body,
Oh,
trains hard.
absolutely. All right, so the match ends as we expected. JD gets his finisher out of nowhere, wins the match. All four guys come in the ring, start beating him out, and your favorite two dudes come out. The DIY guys came, cleared the ring with two chairs. Now, this was my favorite part of it, the backstage segment where they're in the back and he thinks they're DX and refers to Ciampa as the game and Shawn Michaels to Johnny Gargano. Pretty funny. I thought
Yeah, it was all right.
it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. I had no problem. Becky's out. she's going to have a little chat. She talks about how hard the road's been, what she sacrificed, and failing to mention, like, yeah, you're going on to the Elimination Chamber. You're going to go on to face Rhea Ripley, but Rhea Ripley has an appointment at the Elimination Chamber, and she comes out to confront her. Here comes Nia Jax, and she goes, I wish I can be a mom like you, this and that. I don't know if it was sincere, tongue in cheek, but she ends it saying, you'll get to WrestleMania, but that's as far as you're going to get because you're not going to get through me because I'm going to beat Rhea Ripley. Out comes Mommy. Mommy comes out, tries to get a lick in, but Nia, man, they just keeping her really, really strong, man. It's just
You
showing.
need to. She's so big and so strong. It wouldn't be real if she kept her weak. So I'm glad they're booking her
I
very
know,
good.
but Rhea herself is such a strong
Not
individual.
compared to Nia Jax.
Nia's just a beast.
Not
But
even close.
Becky's standing there having a drink with her drink because she did a toast to the crowd. And then she gets squashed. So then she ends up doing a drop kick, a missile drop kick off the top rope. That ends that. Rhea with the boot knocks her down, stare down between Rhea and Becky, and that segment ends. And we go to the main event of the evening, which is Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, 15 minutes long.
Thanks for bringing that up. Why does Nakamura keep getting all these Raw main events? For what reason and what purpose? I don't understand why they're just throwing him out there. He never wins. Why?
I just keeping it in the mix. I don't know, bro. Why do they do?
I know. I'm just saying, like, I watched some of this booking and writing.
The question is, why do they do half the things they do?
No, I know. I just I seen him again. It's like, why does he got to keep having the Raw main events? He's not even in a major program. He's just fighting random guys. And yeah, he's not a bad worker. He's a good worker. But like, do you have to have Nakamura every?
I think
main event every Raw.
I think they're just trying to keep him relevant, and just kind of like I mean, besides that, I can't think of.
Yeah, they can have him in the middle of the match, like a middle of the card. Isn't every? Who wants to watch Nakamura every Raw?
I also think this has to do with what I said about Sami earlier, going heel. This is just another peg along that road. So in terms of the ongoing story that they're trying to build for Sami, I believe that Shinsuke was just a cog in it all, right? I mean, he may come back later on. Who knows, man? Maybe you'll get. I mean, at one time, Sami and Shinsuke were a faction. They were a little team together, right? So that this could build towards something there as well, like the disgruntled crew. Who knows? But basically, it ends with Drew coming out, not touching, not doing anything, just causing the distraction, allowing Shinsuke to get to Shinsaska, finish it off. 1, 2, 3. They start beating him up. And what would Raw be without Cody running out to make the save? And it's almost like he knows because he dresses so well for his segment.
He does dress well.
But then backstage, the dude's wearing his tracksuit, so something's going to go down. If you're personally, you should have just stayed in the suit to keep that element of surprise, right? Like, I know he has his bus. I know he lives off of the bus when he's on the road.
Yeah.
But man, you shouldn't have worn the tracksuit. You're just kind of giving it away. So Cody comes, makes the save, and that's basically the end of Raw. SmackDown didn't really give us anything, so we're gonna get The Rock and what's his face, Roman. Sorry. They're going to be there to explain themselves. So we see full heel Rock. I'm curious to see how that plays out. So something to look forward to this Friday. AEW
before we close it off, I just hope Rock keeps hammering home the Crybaby Road stuff. Oh, Crybaby Cody fans, because Cody is a crybaby and his fans are crybabies. And he needs to keep hammering that home.
Yeah, I believe
make him sound like wussies, make him sound like weak. Yeah. And keep on. I hope he puts his foot on their neck and really hammers that out. Somebody needs to say it.
I'll be honest. I think the direction that they're moving in with some of the promos that we've seen, the way they're talking, we're going to get more edgier content. And I think Rock will be that guy to set that standard going forward. If this is a new era, like Triple H said, if this is a new thing that, a new era, and the direction that they're going in, I mean, really, they're not limited to much in terms of restrictions with Netflix. So if you're setting the tone, if you're setting it all up, I mean, this is the guy who's going to do it. So I think we're going to see that. I mean, I'd be very surprised if it's not, because I mean, it's really being brought to light. Before we move on, Pat McAfee, I know you're not a huge fan, but brother, I have to ask you, I think he's doing a lot better. I
just think this doesn't come across as real to me. It comes across as contrived and fake, and it's too over the top.
You know what?
He says some funny stuff, but even his radio show, football stuff, I don't like anything that he does.
All right, fair enough, man. I tried. I like Pat McAfee, and I've been paying attention to it a bit more. And to be fair, his calling and his moves, like he knows his moves now, he knows what's going on. So he's more in tune with the product. He sounds better, man. I know you're not a fan. I just wanted to throw that
No, I
in.
never liked the guy. Even he had his radio show. Just don't care for the guy. He's okay, but I mean, if I was in charge, I wouldn't have him out there personally.
All right, fair play, fair play. AEW, very quickly, let's just touch on Dynamite. Not a bad show, man. We were talking about it off air a little bit. The Swerve Strickland against Hangman Page, which opened up the show. Solid match by these two. And you know what I like
Very
about
good.
it? You're seeing a very quiet dual change here, where Swerve is more of the face now, and Hangman is taking on more of the heel role. And that was pretty clear at the end of the match. So they basically went toe to toe to toe to toe. Swerve was about to win, but they ran out of time, which is a rare. I actually like that where the time actually plays a role. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
20 minutes, yeah, 20 minutes, that bell rang, right? I mean, that was old school style wrestling where the timekeeper still actually had a role. But 2 count, the bell rings, match is over, it's a
I
draw.
think that match was better than anything we've seen on Raw. That match alone was better. They just had better chemistry. They got a good story. They got the home invasion. They got the blood in the mouth. And I'm
Yeah,
not the hugest Hangman Page fan, but I think that match right there was better than any match we've seen on Raw. I
uh,
think AEW has a golden opportunity now. With Vinny not around, we're going to see WB a little more AEW style with Gargano and Pete Dunne and all these kind of guys that look like AEW guys. This AEW's chance right now to make it, and they're never going to take over WWE. I get that, but there's a chance to make a huge push here and say, wait a minute, we are almost. They are almost. They're not always want to be different, but they're going to be like, this is similar. We got similar athletes, similar small guys. This is AEW's chance to really, really go and really push the show with this thing stuff and gain a little bit of ground without, with Triple H is more of a kind of books like Tony Khan in a way, but different. So this is a chance for Tony to gain a little ground here. They better not drop the. They will, but they can really run with something here.
well, let's see what they do. Like I said, man, everything
Because when I
changes.
was thinking about the first thing I thought about, besides Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed, when I watched Dynamite and I watched Raw, I'm thinking to myself, the difference in talent is not that much. There's not that much that yes, Cody Rhodes is the bigger star than most guys on Dynamite. There's not that much of a difference in star power anymore. It's kind of starting to even out a little bit. Now Raw's got better production, and I get it's WWE, but AEW's got a chance to make some ground up here.
They have potential. Like I said, I mean, they're still in the game, right? I mean, anything is anything, anything is possible. But like I said, I mean, I'm gonna hold my judgment on what you're saying till I see a little bit more after WrestleMania, to see the direction and everything. Like, just kind of let the dust settle with everything that's been going on. And yeah, I mean, you might be right, and I might be right. Who knows? We might both be right. So let's just.
I mean, I've always been like WWE, and like they got the better production, and they're so far ahead. They've been doing it for so long. It's like Vince built a mansion. He said, "Guys, come live in my mansions." Already, the bones are already there. All you gotta do is sweep the floor and vacuum the rug, right?
Yeah.
AEW is still building, but if you look at what Triple H is doing, he's not doing much different than Tony Khan is with this kind of little guy stuff. And this is a chance for AEW to really push the line here.
Well, here's a little
There's
something.
something different.
We're talking about Triple H and Tony Khan and stuff like that. So Undertaker on his 6 Feet Deep Undertaker podcast, he was talking about Triple H and his style, and he says the vibe backstage is very calm. He's not one to yell at anybody. He's not one, like, he'll get angry, but he doesn't yell at anybody.
Yeah, I've seen that.
He also said along the lines that you look at the crew right now backstage, not just the talent, but production and everything else, they're all young. It's kind of like a new generation has kind of come in, because you got to figure
But the
eventually.
problem with that is like I'm glad Taker said it, because what I've always been saying, Triple H is a cool guy. He's the millennial dad. He's the kind of guy that he's not going to yell at the kid. He's not going to tell you, "Hey, clean the room, you moron." Well, Vinnie Mac would. He demands excellence. He demands greatness. Triple H doesn't, and you can see that. What I've always been saying, you can see
Right.
that on Raw now with these guys.
But
Certain guys that are there, Vinnie would never have them out,
no,
and Triple H
100%.
does. So
I
he's a
agree with
cool
you.
dad, but that will bite him in the butt eventually.
Okay, I agree with you.
He's
But
like Tony Khan.
okay, but here's the problem with everything you're saying, and you know what? This goes to more of a social dynamic than a wrestling dynamic. You got an old school guy with a bunch of young people who can't handle that kind of, in general, anywhere. Okay, it's just not wrestling. So it just kind of like, I agree with Vince's style. You agree with Vince's
Oh
style.
yeah, it's way better.
Oh, it works. But unfortunately, even if Vince was there, he would something would have to change because of the generation that's kind of coming in. Like I said, on both sides of the ledger, you got young people in production, you got young people writing, you got young people as working in the truck. So it's just a whole different generation of people that are. And I apologize, I'm not referring to all of them as such,
No,
but
you're right.
it's a
But that's
soft
what I'm saying.
generation.
It's coming like AEW now. What
Well,
Tony Khan is
everything
doing,
is
the
though.
cool guy, the
Yeah.
guy that won't discipline you. Like I'll give you an example. If some guy, if CM Punk went off on a press conference, Triple H wouldn't do nothing to him. Vince would yank that mic out of his hand. You don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, so yes, Triple H is a better booker than Tony, but he's not far ahead of Tony. When you watch their shows, they're very similar.
Well, let's find out. You know what? I'm going to pay more attention to that going forward,
I've noticed that.
and I'll see. I'll give you my.
I think Chris Jericho said it best. Tony Khan is a fan of the business. Triple H is a fan of the business too, but he's got a little more business acumen because Vinny trained him up.
Well, he trained him up, but
Vince is a businessman. See, Tony and Triple H aren't businessmen. That's the difference.
Okay, yeah, but both are fans of the business. But the one thing that he does have over Tony Khan is he lived the business.
Yeah, he was in the ring. Yep.
Right. So I mean, that will always separate the two. But hey, let's see where they all go with this. Tony Khan, big announcement, big show happening in Boston early March, mid-March, I believe it is. That basically is just him saying indirectly, read between the lines, Sasha Banks is going to make her debut. The show's in Massachusetts and Boston. That's her hometown. So that's what's going to happen there. Overall, AEW wasn't too bad. We both talked about the Blackpool Combat Club. Yeah. Wow. Those
2 weeks in a row. I said it last week. I'll say it again. That Hincharo guy, as far as WWE and AEW, because we do talk about both, he's outperformed anybody. I think he's done moves that we don't have names for. The commentators can't even come up with a name. You got Taz and all those guys there, and Excalibur. They can't even think of a name for these moves because he's so innovative, and I enjoy watching him right now. He's actually my favorite guy to watch right now.
Well, what I love about watching with him is he's so fluid. He just makes it look. It's like, if you really want to think of it, it's kind of like watching early Michael Jackson dance. Just that fluidity of it all. You know what I mean? He's really good. But that being said, like I said to you, you also have to write dance partners in order to.
Oh yeah, I need somebody that can roll around too. Yeah, right. And that's why Daniel Bryan and Claudio are perfect for that for him.
Yeah. All right, brother man. I tell you what, I think we've jibber jabbered on quite a bit here. Good week of wrestling. We have two more shows to go. Maybe I guess three. 2 live shows and probably 1 recorded show before Elimination Chamber. Dynamite is tomorrow night, so kind of curious to see where they go with that. We forgot to mention Sting has won the tag team championships in AEW. A gesture, I guess, more or less just a gesture as he's walking out the door.
Thank you.
But like I said to you off air, I really think it's a nice gesture and everything, but you didn't need to do that for him.
No, he doesn't need the belts.
I think that takes away from the young guys who do have those belts. They needed it more. And I leave you with this question, and I put this question to the fans. After he leaves, what happens to Darby Allin?
Hopefully, I guess they're thinking that he's had a big enough push, a big enough rub with Sting. Sting's taught him a lot. Hopefully that he can keep upping his career. Sting is just retiring from in-ring action. Nobody's saying that he can't manage to be outside the ring. So maybe that means he's done completely. We don't know. But hopefully Sting's taught him a lot.
But do you think he's world title?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Just wanted to clear that up. Because I guarantee within this year, they're going to push him hard for the heavyweight title.
I sure hope not. He's no. He does some cool stuff, but no.
Fair enough. All right, Chance, I tell you what, let's wrap this baby up and let's go our separate ways. We'll come back together this Thursday for the boxing show. So everybody, my name, Bobby Sampson, his name, Chance Michaels.
And in the words of the great AC/DC, those that download, like, and subscribe to the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you. And in the words of Ed Whalen, before that, everyone, just have a safe rest of your week. Play it safe. Take your time. Don't rush. Everything is everything. Just remember, there's someone waiting for you at the other end always. And on that note, in the words of Ed Whalen, in the meantime and in between time, that's it for Samp and Chance. Everyone, have a great rest of your week.